Om Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam Bhoktaram Yagnatapasam Sarvalokamaheshwaram Suhrudam Sarvabhutanam Gnatva Mam Shanti Mruchati. I render my salutations to the rootless root of all and the causeless cause of all. I place my prostrations at the feet of all the liberated masters, and I render my salutations to the divinity which is innate and inherent in all of us. Thank you very much, Mr. Vasudev and Mrs. Vani Vasudev, the directors of Meditation and Study Circle, for giving me an opportunity to share whatever little I know about karma today with the audience. I have been entertained for a long time by Meditation and Study Circle. In fact, my journey with Meditation and Study Circle started almost 23 years back, when the former director, my mentor, my philosopher, my guru, Mr. S. Krishnamurthy, invited me to deliver a lecture. I began with my first lecture that was on science and spirituality. I remember the day also very well. And that was a lecture where I tried to blend science and spirituality. And ever since, I have been associated with Meditation and Study Circle almost continuously, maybe in between for a few months. When I was in Bareilly, I was unable to take up that particular assignment. So I extend my heartfelt thanks to the platform, my mentors, Mr. Krishnamurthy and Mrs. Rukmini Krishnamurthy, and once again the present directors, Mr. Vasudev and Srimati Vani Vasudev. I always feel very happy speaking in this platform, basically because I connect to the audience very fast. The audience here are really serious spiritual sadhaks. They are on the path of knowledge. They are intensely into Jnana Yoga. So connecting with the audience becomes easier. Although these are online programs, at times I feel that I am unable to actually see my audience. Still, I feel that invisibly I'm connected to my audience. And thank you very much for sending out such nice vibes which enable me to keep connected to you people. With this brief introduction or the prelude, I just like to go ahead with the satsang. And the topic chosen for the satsang is how to encounter karma. Do you think this is an important topic, intriguing topic, interesting topic? I have the answer already from Srimati Vani Vasudev. She said it is intriguing. And I believe it is interesting and intriguing. Do you people agree with me? Do you people agree with me that it is an interesting and intriguing topic? Already there is a message from Vasudev
Absolutely.
Narayan. Yes,
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 yes.
Absolutely.
People in
yes.
chat put their respond in the chat window because everyone else is muted.
Yeah. So Mr. Vasudev Narayan has sent a message saying that it is interesting, intriguing, and probably a very very relevant topic. Basically, because the karmic load is increasing. Why I say that is, most of the countries or most of the nations are indulging in such karmas which rather invite a lot of karmic overload, a lot of karmic load, or what I call karmic overload. Just like every individual has a karma, it is said even a nation has karma. That's called collective karma. Let me go to that collective karma a little bit later. And as of now, what I'm going to share with you people is karma at individual level and karma at community level. What exactly is this word karma refers to? A lot of Western people are also fond of this term called karma. And several books written by evolved people from West have quoted this particular word called karma. Karma in Sanskrit is karma, and in Pali language, it is called kamma. It means an action, a work, or a deed, and the effects or consequences of that action. So, all human beings are engaged in some action all the time. Not only when people are awake that they are engaged in action, even when they sleep and get into the dream state, and when they are submerged in dream activity, they are engaged in karma. And even in sleep, their body is functioning. Physically, they are working. Although the basal metabolic rate, what we call BMR, has come down while we are sleeping, and when we get into deep sleep, the BMR definitely drastically goes down, but still our organs are functioning. Our organ systems are performing. So the moment we take birth, we are engaged in karma. Knowingly, unknowingly, we are engaged in karma in different planes. We are physically, emotionally, mentally, always doing something. It is said, the moment we get up in the morning, thoughts start haunting us. And there is an incessant train of thoughts, one after the other. Relentlessly, they keep flooding till you go to bed, and you carry several of your thoughts into bed. And as you sleep, you get dreams, or you start dreaming. And as dreams unfold, again you are engaged in karma. And beyond dreams, As I said, even in sleep, your physical body is functioning. So, karma doesn't leave anybody, because the very name of life is movement. Things should move. Physically, you move, emotionally, you move, and thought wise, you move. If the movement completely stops in all the planes, probably we are no more. So there is no route to escape karma. That's what I mean to say. There is no way, no route to escape from karma, because we are karma yogis. Whether you like it or you don't like it, you need to take up the responsibilities. The moment you are born, you need to sustain yourself, and you need to take care of your kith and kin. You need to share your responsibility as a professional, or you need to take up the responsibility of the community, the society, the country, as a citizen, as a father, as a brother, as a sister, whatever it is. You are playing multiple roles, and that invites you to engage in karma. We know that every action that we perform is karma, and as a result of the action, there is a reaction, what you call effect. For every cause, there is an effect, and for every effect, there may be future causes. What I mean to say is, every cause is followed by an effect or multiple effects, and every effect propels future causes. So this is a ceaseless cycle. Action and reaction keep following one after the other. There is a temporal sequence. Temporal sequence means one after the other. The cause giving rise to effect, and the effect giving rise to cause. This incessant cycle or ceaseless cycle is called as the cycle of karma. So we have to face this karma. We cannot escape from karma. So the best thing is, we need to encounter the karma the way that needs to be encountered. We begin encountering karma, as I said, as soon as we are born. There's absolutely no doubt about it. If karma is so intricately, so intimately, so relentlessly connected to our lives, is it not our bounden duty to understand what is this karma and how is it influencing our lives, and how is it going to influence the lives of others who come in our way or who are related to us? The knowledge of karma is something what we call the theory of karma, the law of karma, the principle of karma, or doctrine of karma. So we can put it in different ways. Karma siddhanta, karma niyama, karma avartana. So you can call the same knowledge of karma using different terms, because it is karma that has influence on our lives. And we know very well what we are today is majorly because of all that we did in the past, every decision that we took in our lives, every incident that happened in our lives, every experience that we passed through in our lives, and the way we reacted to every experience, every incident, every episode that happened in our lives, we are what we are today. So our past has greatly created our present now. Hope you agree with me. If I were to take a different decision, probably I would have been different today. Every decision, every sankalpa, every desire led me to what I am today. So, whether it's my body, whether it's my emotions, or whether it's the nature of my thoughts, all are carved out of what all has gone through in my present life, and also what all has gone through in my past lives. So I am the ultimate resultant entity of all that happened in the past. I cannot deny that I'm a product of my past. If I am a product of my past, if I'm carrying the effects of my past, should I not understand the causes, what led me to the present state, and what I am today, in order to understand the role of karma in my life, so that I can transcend the karmas? If at all, if I understand how I am a product of my past karmas and how I can better myself by handling the karmas the way that they need to be handled, there is no progress in life at all. So what exactly instigates this ceaseless cycles or chain of cycles? What instigates this ceaseless chain of action and reaction are nothing but our desires. Every desire is a sankalpa. Unknowingly, we keep engaged in several sankalpas at several phases of our life. Bruhadaranyaka Upanishad says that our desires propel karma. If somebody asks what propel karma, it's the desires. Desire to do something, desire to attain some position, desire to move, desire to gather, desire to accumulate, desire to make name, desire to become famous, desire to do that and this. You know very well, desires are there in us, with us, and they're going to continue till we understand the role of these desires in generating karmas. Probably the desire is going to continue till the end. I'll let you know how exactly desires propel karma and how one of these desires may continue with us for a pretty long time in many of our lives in future also. A person consists of desires. That's what Bruhadaranyaka Upanishad says. A person consists of desires, And as his desire, so is his will. And as his will, so is his deed. And whatever deed he does, that he will reap. So, desire gives rise to will to do something, and that will decides what is the deed or action that we are going to take. And whatever action we take, that definitely leads to reaction or effect. In science, there is a wonderful theory called theory of causality. Theory of causality. Causality, not casuality. Causality. It's a fundamental theory in research science. Research always wants to find out what are the causes for a given effect. What are the causes for a given effect? Especially in medical science, the medical researchers are bothered very much to know the precursors for a disease. Unless there are some causes, disease cannot occur. Understanding the relationship between the causes of the disease and the relationship of those causes with the disease that is called outcome or effect is the fundamental principle on which the researchers work. COVID-19 infection, what is the cause for it? The outcome became obvious, or the effect became obvious. The researchers started tracing the cause for it. And then they established that causal association. Causal association means the association between the cause and the outcome, or what you call as the cause and the effect. In Kannada, it is called Karya Karana Sambandha. In English, it is called as cause and effect relationship. In medical science, it is called as cause and outcome relationship. And in Sanskrit, it is called as Karya Karana Sambandha. This is what is the karma and the law of karma. For every outcome, there may be one or many causes. Similarly, for every outcome, there are many causes, one or many causes which are going to be generated. The law of karma is intimately associated with the spiritual evolution of man. See, if law of karma doesn't operate, man cannot spiritually evolve, because man is such a creature. He learns by committing mistakes, by committing blunders. He needs a lot of opportunities to commit blunders and to correct himself. This process takes place eternally. Man is on a path of perfection. That's what we call evolution. There are three fundamental spiritual laws. Number one, the law of evolution. Number two, the law of karma. And number three, the law of avatara. The law of karma is so binding upon us, because we need to be given enough opportunities, and God has been so generous to give us multiple opportunities, and in every lives we err, we learn. We learn and we unlearn. We unlearn and we relearn. If God has given only one life to us, probably our learning will be very, very incomplete. So God has been generous. So through successive lives on earth, as per karmic law, every human will engage in karmas physically, mentally, emotionally, and in the process he will evoke exactly appropriate reaction. It's like you throw a ball towards the wall or to the wall, and the ball comes back. Action and reaction are taking place. Action is you threw the ball, and after hitting the wall with the equal speed or force, the ball came back to you. Action and reaction are equal and opposite in direction. This is the third law of motion of science given by Newton, Sir Isaac Newton, long back. And this law metaphorically presents your law of karma. Every action that you perform will generate a reaction which is probably exactly appropriate reaction. Exactly appropriate. What is more important is the motive behind the action. More than the action, the motive behind the action. If your motive behind the action is good, you are going to generate good vibes, and the same good vibes comes back to you. You might have heard of a sport called boomerang sport. What you throw into this universe, the same thing in disguise, with same force, with same vibes, will come back to you one or the other day. As you sow, so you reap. This is a wonderful proverb. This is a wonderful saying extracted from Bible. Bible says, as you sow, so you reap. ಏನು ಉಳ್ತೀವೋ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಪಡಿಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ it's a very simple law. All of us know, all of us have heard of it, but still, despite or notwithstanding, we do not consciously perform the action. Action becomes very mechanical, and we commit such actions which bring back a lot of karma, especially the negative kind. Please understand, karma is such a thing which needs to be experienced by us either in the present life or in the future lives. The good deeds that you do will bring back the same vibes to you, and you enjoy the happiness out of it. The bad deeds that you perform, knowingly or unknowingly, you may say unknowingly I did it, but it invites appropriate reaction. You can't deny that. You can't avoid it. So the motive behind the action plays a very decisive role in the nature of the reaction. So in this world, each person is unique. Every person is unique in the scheme of creation. Each carries a different karmic load. Your karmic load is entirely different from my karmic load. Every person has a karmic load of his own. Even if you are husband and wife, the husband is a unique individual. He has his own karmic load. Wife has her own karmic load. Children have their own karmic loads. You are living in the same home. You are eating same food. You are sharing your lot of amenities. That doesn't mean to say karma becomes same for all of you. Life doesn't prescribe Same curriculum to every person, because the karmic load differs from person to person. The kind of hardships that I undergo, the kind of lessons that I learn, the kind of textbooks that are prescribed to me, textbooks in the sense, the life lessons that are prescribed to me are different from that is prescribed to you. In that respect, all of us are unique, however closely we are related to each other. That means to say, the lessons or the curriculum is customized, very much customized. When we sustain the results of our past karmas from past lives, the karmic account keeps getting neutralized when we know how to encounter our karmas. If we don't know how to encounter our karmas, probably we keep adding to our past karmas. Instead of resolving the past karmas, neutralizing the past karmas, or harmonizing the past karmas, we generate a lot of new karmas. The past karmas are called Sanchita karma and Prarabdha karma. Sanchita karma is accumulated karma from several lives. It is there in our account. It is there in the invisible account. It is there in our causal body. Karana Sharira. Karanatma, we say. Vedanta says there are three bodies. Sthula, Sukshma, Karana, Deha. Sthula means the physical body. Sukshma means the subtle body, the emotional and the mental. And Karana is still subtle. Karana Deha, Karana Sharira, we call Karanatma, the causal body. We store all our Sanchita karma in the causal body. In every life, as we descend from the causal world and from the causal body, start wearing the mental body, the astral body, and the physical body, and descend down to this physical world, we carry a part of that Sanchita karma. The part of the accumulated karma is given to us by karma devatas. In fact, I only decide how much of karma I am able to carry and come forward and take birth in the womb of a specific mother and specific father. It's not the karma devata who decide. They give the freedom to me. They give the freedom to me to receive a part of the Sanchita karma and be born in a specific place, in a specific religion, to specific parents, so that I choose everything and come down. That freedom is given by karma devatas. I come down, and that part of karma that I carry from the causal body, from the permanent atom there, is called as prarabdha karma. Sometimes we say, Nanna prarabdhanaya idu. That means to say, I have carried that karma from my past lives. I have come here basically to dissolve that prarabdha karma or neutralize that prarabdha karma before I die and go back. Go back empty-handed. But in the process, what happens? I do not know how to actually neutralize the prarabdha karma without inviting agami karma. What is agami karma? As I am neutralizing or harmonizing my past karmas, since I do not have the tact of neutralizing the prarabdha karma, I have not understood it properly. I keep generating new karma which follows me to my future lives. That is called as agami karma. Many times it so happens that By the time I complete my prarabdha karma, I would have carried much, much, much more agami karma. Go and store it in sanchita karma. With every life, I am not dissolving the sanchita karma. I am rather expanding the sanchita karma. So it becomes very important to know how to encounter karmas, so that while encountering the prarabdha karma, I simply neutralize the prarabdha karma and I do not invite agami karma. That is a tact. That is a skill. That is what is the theme of this particular lecture. But please remember, you need to carry karma of your past lives and resolve those karmas, rather neutralize those karmas. Nobody is an exception. Nobody is an exception. In Mankutimana Kagga, wonderfully, D.V. Gundappa says, Tanna shilubeya tane hottanala Guru Yesu, Ninna karmada horeya, bidade nine horu, Kinna nagade, tutiya bigidu, ಶವಭಾರವನ್ನು ಬೆನ್ನಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊತ್ತು ನಡೆ ಮಂಕುತಿಮ್ಮ. ತನ್ನ ಶಿಲುಬೆಯ ತಾನೇ ಹೊತ್ತನಲ ಗುರು ಯೇಸು, ನಿನ್ನ ಕರ್ಮದ ಹೊರೆಯ ಬಿಡದೆ ನೀನೇ ಹೊರು, ಖಿನ್ನನಾಗದೆ ತುಟಿಯ ಬಿಗಿದು ಶವಭಾರವನ್ನು ಬೆನ್ನಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊತ್ತು ನಡೆ ಮಂಕುತಿಮ್ಮ. See, this one kagga is enough, which clearly says no one is an exception for karma. Jesus Christ had to carry his karma. The cross came to him as his karma. He was crucified. Alive, he was crucified. He carried his cross. He carried his karma. So, ನಿನ್ನ ಕರ್ಮದ ಹೊರೆಯ ಬಿಡದೆ ನೀನೇ ಹೊರು, ಅಣ್ಣ ಬಾ ತಮ್ಮ ಬಾ ಎಂದಳುವುದೇಕೋ, ನಿನ್ನ ಕರ್ಮದ ಭಾರವ ನೀನೇ ಹೊರು, ಅಣ್ಣ ಬಾ ತಮ್ಮ ಬಾ ಎಂದು ಅಳುವುದೇಕೋ. Nobody can carry your karma. My diseases, my sorrow, my happiness, my greed, my lust, unique to me. I need to carry it. I cannot say I will carry all the sukharma. Sukharma means all that is good and all that is bad. My brother, you carry. It's impossible. It's impossible. If I am obese, I need to do exercise. If my brother does physical exercise, my obesity cannot disappear. Isn't it? So in that way, we are all unique beings. ನಿನ್ನ ಕರ್ಮದ ಹೊರೆಯ ಬಿಡದೆ ನೀನೇ ಹೊರು, ಖಿನ್ನ ನಾಗದೆ ತುಟಿಯ ಬಿಗಿದು ಶವಭಾರವನ್ನು ಬೆನ್ನಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊತ್ತು ನಡೆ ಮಂಕುತಿಮ್ಮ. Don't get depressed. This is the way to encounter karma. Khinna nagade. Don't get depressed. Don't feel sad. Don't worry. Don't be anxious. Don't be frustrated. Don't be stressed up. Be calm. And whatever comes in your way, it has come in your way basically because you attracted them. You invited them in the first place. Nothing can happen in this particular world as an accident. Nothing is accidental. Even an accident that you see on the road is not accidental. Because law of karma wonderfully says, you attracted it. You dragged it. You are the cause. You have done. So, when such is the case, why you want to get depressed? Tutiya bigidu. Andre, just shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Don't blame others. Don't point your fingers at others, because you are the cause for the situation in which you are placed today. So, ತುಟಿಯ ಬಿಗಿದು ಶವಭಾರವನು ಬೆನ್ನಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊತ್ತು ನಡೆ ಮಂಕುತಿಮ್ಮ. ಶವಭಾರ, you are actually carrying such a heavy weight, such a heavy weight. You know very well the cadaver is very heavy. Unlike the living body, the cadaver is very heavy. So, antaha shavabharavana ಬೆನ್ನಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊತ್ತು ನಡೆ. Bennu means it's coming with you, it's following you. You need to carry it. Hege, how do you carry all that karmic load? Khinnanagade. Don't get depressed. Please don't get depressed at all. Okay. So why all these things happen? Why are we dragging or inviting so much of karma? So much of karma. It's basically because desires propel karma. These desires only push us to engage in karma. Then the question comes, if desires are resulting in karma, why relentlessly, endlessly I keep desiring? Can I not stop it? Gautama Buddha long back said, Asaye dukkakke karana. Desire is the root cause of sorrow. Very well, we have read it. Right from our high school days, we have read, we have heard it from several people. If such is the case, why we are unable to stop the desires? Vedanta gives a wonderful explanation for that. Vedanta says that our true nature is all comprehensive reality. Our true nature is the Bhagavan himself. We are the gods in making. Our true nature is that of godly nature. And what exactly happens is, since God is comprehensive, God is totality, and I am God in the making, our nature cannot remain satisfied with little things. God is totality. Alva? ಪೂರ್ಣತ್ವವೇ ಭಗವಂತ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಅಂತ ಪೂರ್ಣತ್ವವೇ ನನ್ನಲ್ಲಿರುವಾಗ ನಾನು ಭಾಗಶಃ ಏನನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡಲ್ಲ. Because my true self is totality. But I have not experienced the true self. I am living in my outer self or lower self. But my true nature is totality. Hence, our nature cannot remain satisfied with the little. Instinctually, inherently, we want totality. It is probably totality of knowledge, totality of wealth, totality of happiness, and totality of health. Health or wealth or knowledge or happiness, whatever it is, I want it to be total. Because that instinct is there. Why that instinct is there? Because ಮೂಲತಃ ನಾನು ಪೂರ್ಣತ್ವ. ಮೂಲತಃ ನಾನು ಪೂರ್ಣತ್ವ. ಅದು ನನಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಪೂರ್ಣತ್ವ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಳಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಪೂರ್ಣತ್ವದೆಡೆಗೆ ಚಲಿಸುವಂತೆ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಚಲನೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದರಲ್ಲೂ ಪೂರ್ಣತ್ವ ಪಡಿಲಿಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಹಲುಬ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ, ಹಂಬಲಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ. So then what happens? In the process, we generate endless desires. Every desire wants to take us close to God. We mistake that desire is completely wrong. No. Every desire, maybe a worldly desire, maybe a divine desire, irrespective, all the desires will be longing to make you total, complete. But problem as such is we pursue with small desires. ಮನೆ ಕಟ್ಟಬೇಕು, ಮದುವೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಹಣ ಸಂಪಾದಿಸಬೇಕು, ಒಡವೆ ಸಂಗ್ರಹಿಸಿ ಇಡಬೇಕು, ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೊಂದು ಸೇಫ್ಟಿ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ನನ್ನ ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ಕಾಪಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಹಲವಾರು ಆಶೆಗಳು. isn't it? ನನಗೆ ನೆಮ್ಮದಿ ಬೇಕು, ಶಾಂತಿ ಬೇಕು. So one after the other, and many times multiple desires at same time. Small desires, if we keep pursuing, we will never be satisfied. Because these small desires take us to some particular place and leave us there. We get trapped in the maze of desires. So, but please understand, every desire inherently wants you to become God. Every desire wants to take you to totality. But you have developed small desires which take you to small places, and in between they leave you. Instead, let us understand that all these desires are aimed at reaching totality. So please understand, whenever a desire gets generated in your mind, please remind yourself, this desire has come to me in a disguise to take me to totality. But the problem is, the kind of desire that I have, if I pursue, will not take me to totality now. It may take a long time, long time, because there are small desires. If that is the case, we must seek and understand that totality, which is nothing but God. So what are we supposed to do? Instead of chasing these small desires which take you not even halfway through and leave, chase a big desire. What is the desire? The desire is to reach the totality. And the totality is nothing but God. And please remember, our desires prove that we are seeking God all the time. So don't keep blaming the desires, but keep watching the desires. Keep understanding that what kind of desires are they. So our desires prove that we are seeking God all the time, because it's a way to reach the totality. And we do not know that many times, and we get trapped in the maze of desires. It is a desire for God that impels us to seek what is not God. It is the desire for God which impels us to seek what is not God. Because if I know what is not God, then it becomes on my way after a long time to understand, appraise, appreciate, experience the God. And in that process, man has to take several births. The moment you understand that there's no point in chasing these small desires, just like a multi-millionaire, he will never bother about few coins. Few coins are of no use to him because he's a multi-millionaire. And his ambition is something more. Similarly, you also understand that your desire should be only to realize God. That is totality. Realize God or become desirous of God or totality. In the process of reaching the totality, I desire everything that does not lead me to God. This is the inherent Maya. This is the inherent illusion. This is the inherent illusion that I carry. With this illusion, if I keep chasing anything and everything that I keep desiring, it is not possible for me to attain totality as of now. It may take Kalpakala. Kalpakala means 432 koti varsha. 432 crore years with the kind of desires, petty desires that I am carrying to reach the God. The total fulfillment of all our desires is not possible, isn't it? So it's better, let us throw these small, small desires. You all know the story of Purandara Dasa. His name was Srinivasa Nayaka. He was a wealthy merchant. He was very miserly and worldly person. He was with full of lust and full of greed. One incident that happened in his life changed him completely, and he became an ascetic. He renounced all his wealth, all his belongings, all his business, his family members. He wore crimson dress, carried a tamburi in his hand, wore a tulasi mala to his neck, and anklets to his legs, began composing kirtanas on Lord Vishnu, singing melodiously. He traveled far and wide, visited several holy places, worshipped God all the time. All that happened led him to the proximity of God. He developed proximity and devotion to Lord. Nothing could attract him or lure him. Once he left, he left. He completely renounced because he realized small, small desires are not going to take him too far. Have only one desire. What is the desire? To become like God, rather to be like God, or to experience the God. Even the word becoming is wrong. You are a God in being. But unfortunately, you are not realized. Purandaradasa realized it. His moment came. And that moment is called as the aha moment. Aha moment is that moment which completely transforms you. He spent the rest of his life in close company of Lord. All other desires just disappeared, and the only desire was to be in company with God. He realized that everything in life is incomplete, and only God is complete, total. And hence his karma did not invite any bondage. The moment he left everything, every other desire, that doesn't mean to say you should leave your job, you should leave your task, you should leave your work. Start experiencing the God in whatever you are doing. But unfortunately, you are not doing that. His karma became nishkama karma. At this juncture, I like to narrate an anecdote. Since it's a very, very relevant anecdote that I came across when I was studying a couple of years back. This is a small incident or episode. It is picked from Zen philosophy. Daishu Ekai. Daishu Ekai was a Japanese Zen master, and he had several disciples in his monastery. One day, a monk asked Daishu Ekai, "Master, what is nirvana?" The master answered, "My dear disciple, not to commit oneself to the vicious cycle of birth and death, pleasure and pain, that is called nirvana." Nirvana means you are not committing to pleasure and pain. You are beyond it. You are not committing to birth and death. You are transcending. You are transcending pleasure and pain. You are transcending birth and death. That is called as nirvana. You are out of the cycle of karma. Karma only creates this good and bad, pleasure and pain, birth and death. Monk could not understand it clearly. So the monk asked the master again, "Master, what then is the vicious circle of birth and death and pleasure and pain? I am not able to understand what you are saying." The master said, "To desire nirvana itself is the cycle of birth and death. cycle of pleasure and pain. So that means to say, even desiring nirvana creates karma. Don't desire nirvana. ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಶೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಶೆಗಳು ಕಳೆದು ಹೋದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಆಶೆ ಉಳಿಯುತ್ತಂತೆ, ಮೋಕ್ಷದ ಆಶೆ. ಮೋಕ್ಷದ ಆಶೆ ಸಹ ಬಂಧನವೇ. That also binds us with karma. Just experience the God within you. Even the desire of nirvana is bonding us because we are desiring. Hence, we create karma. Don't seek anything. Stop seeking. Even nirvana, when the seeker disappears, what was sought earlier will appear. Just learn to be, experience the beingness. Just to be. Simply being frees you. If you are engaged in becoming, that binds you to this world. Because becoming refers to desire, and becoming is in the future. Being is in the present. Just experience the beingness. When you are in the beingness, you are out of the clutches of past and future. If you are given a chance, do you want to experience beingness or to be, or you want to experience becoming? You need to choose cleverly. Becoming takes you to future, and the moment you say future, you are desiring. Because future is all about desiring. You can desire. Future is not unfolded now. The moment you say, I choose becoming, you are choosing future, you are choosing desire, and in the process, you get caught in the karma. If you just get into the being and experience what's happening at this particular moment thoroughly, consciously, completely, without commenting on it, without criticizing it, without admonishing it, without supporting it, without refuting it, you are just being in the present. Definitely it doesn't invite any karma, because you are not desirous. Somebody came to Ramana ಮಹರ್ಷಿಗಳ ಹತ್ರ ಯಾರೋ ಬಂದ್ರು. ಆತ ಶ್ರೀಮಂತ. ಬಂದು ಮುಂದೆ ಕೈ ಜೋಡಿಸಿ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ರಮಣರನ್ನ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು, ನಾನೊಬ್ಬ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಶ್ರೀಮಂತ, ಈ ಊರಿಗೆ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಆಸ್ತಿ ಪಾಸ್ತಿ, ಹೆಂಡತಿ, ಮಕ್ಕಳು, ಮೊಮ್ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ ಸಾಕಾಗಿದೆ ಈ ಸಂಸಾರ. ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ನನಗೆ ಮೋಕ್ಷದ ಮಾರ್ಗವನ್ನ ತೋರಿಸಿಕೊಡಿ ಅಂತ. ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣರು ನಕ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಅಪ್ಪ, ಏನನ್ನೂ ಬೇಡದೇ ಇರೋದೇ ಮೋಕ್ಷ. ಇನ್ನ ನೀನು ಬೇಡೋದೇನು, ನಾನು ಕೊಡೋದೇನು. ಏನನ್ನೂ ಬೇಡದೇ ಇರೋದೇ ಮೋಕ್ಷ, ಏನನ್ನೂ ಆಸೆ ಪಡದೆ ಇರೋದೇ ಮೋಕ್ಷ. ನೀನ್ ನನ್ ಮುಂದೆ ಬಂದು ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮೋಕ್ಷವನ್ನೇ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೀಯ. ಇನ್ನ ನಾನು ಕೊಡೋದೇನು, ನೀನ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದೇನು. ಅಪ್ಪ, ಆ ಮೋಕ್ಷದ ಆಶೆಯನ್ನು ಬಿಡು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅದರ ಅರ್ಥ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ we need to leave all the desires, not only the petty desires, but also the desire as lofty as the desire for getting liberated. But one desire may persist and continue. That is the desire to be with the God. And to be very clear, the God is your true self. You are desiring to be with yourself. It is an appointment of your outer self with the inner self. It is a point where you meet yourself. That's what happens in meditation. That's why we say, when you meditate, when your fragmented selves unite, that is a peak experience, basically because there is neither past nor future. You are experiencing the perfect eternal present. Our Bhagavad Gita gives 3 ways to encounter karma. 3 ways. I'll not elaborate too much, but you people know all these ways. And what all I spoke to you till now, you know very well. It's just that I am trying to remind you. The basic reason what happens with human beings is, the basic thing what happens with human beings is, we are cleverly forgetful. We forget these things. We don't munch on these things. We don't keep it as a cud and keep chewing on it like the cattle. This is what our again Vedanta says. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Even attending satsangs many times stops with Shravana. Manana doesn't happen. And when Shravana doesn't translate to Manana, where you keep memorizing it, how can Manana, if doesn't happen, how can you reach Nididhyasana, where you internalize it? All the things what I am speaking right from the beginning probably is known to you. It is there in your back burner, but you need to keep drawing that from your memory bank and keep memorizing it as many times as possible and keep catching yourself when things are going wrong. If you don't catch yourself red-handed, especially with the inner things that are happening, who else can catch you? Because you know the best what's happening within you. So why not from Manana move to Shravana and Shravana to Nididhyasana? Bhagavad Gita gives 3 methods to encounter karma fruitfully, cleverly, tactfully, so that you do not increase the agami karma. Rather, you neutralize your sanchita karma and prarabdha karma over many lives. See, it is like this. If you open a water tap and keep a bucket below, what happens? The bucket gets filled and then it starts overflowing. Instead of opening the tap, whatever water is there in the bucket, you keep throwing out slowly, gradually. As you are throwing out the water, please don't let open the tap, because the bucket keeps again filling up and overflowing. A clever person, if he wants to empty the bucket, will never open the tap. And at the same time, he will start removing the water from the bucket. This is what you need to do. You are a bucket. You have carried the prarabdha karma as bucket full of water. Throw the water before you leave this plane without adding any more water into it. So Bhagavad Gita gives you 3 ways to encounter karma. Number 1, to do everything in a spirit of detachment. The first method, do whatever you are supposed to do. Play the role to perfection, but don't get attached either to the deed or to the results of the deed. This is the first method. Second method, have faith in God. The first method, that is not to get attached with the results of the karma or with the karma. This can be practiced even by atheists. Atheists means those who don't believe or faith, those who don't have faith in God. Even they can practice this method. But the second method, to have faith in God. This is the second method. As you develop faith in God, your true self starts vibrating with its high potency. And the third method is through knowledge. Knowledge means Gnana Yoga. Engage in Gnana Yoga, so that can be liberating. Let's pick up the first method a little bit. For a spiritual aspirant, encountering karma means transcending karma. Most important thing is to curtail the desires. Learn to be happy with a simple living. How do you curtail the desires? Not forcibly. The more you suppress, the more you repress, the suppressed desires will get into subconscious and start creating a lot of issues to you. Don't suppress the desire. Acknowledge the desire, but raise yourself above the desire. ಮನಸ್ಸನ್ನ ಮಗುವಿನ ಹಾಗೆ ತಣಿಸಬೇಕಂತೆ. ಡಿ ವಿ ಗುಂಡಪ್ಪನವರು ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಕಗ್ಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀತಾರೆ, ಮಗುವನ್ನ ಹೇಗ್ ಸಾಕ್ತಿವೋ ಹಾಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸನ್ನ ಸಾಕಬೇಕು. ಅದು ಬೇಡುತ್ತೆ ಎಲ್ಲ. ಅಪ್ಪ ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಅಷ್ಟ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಅದು ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ. ರಮಿಸಿ ತಣಿಸಿ ಮನಸ್ಸನ್ನ ನಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ನಿಯಂತ್ರಣಕ್ಕೆ ತಗೋಬೇಕು, ನಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಾಧೀನಕ್ಕೆ ತಗೋಬೇಕು. Whatever we do must be done with great responsibility and care. You see people who are so negligent to what they are doing. There is something called as negligence, professional negligence, criminal negligence, civil negligence. Law alli, ಕಾನೂನಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಈ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್. As you read jurisprudence, you come to know negligence is something which is a crime. You are not supposed to be. If you are a spiritual sadhak, play your role to perfection. If we look into ourselves, we see that whenever we do something, we spend a lot of energy on thinking about the results of what we are doing rather than focusing on what we are doing. All the time we are worried. Why students say I'm worried? Why students say I have a lot of stress? Why students say I have a lot of anxiety? It's basically because even before the exams happen, they're looking at the results. What may happen? That's not the way to approach life. So just forget about the phalitamsha or the result. Because doing is present and what happens is future. Doing is present. What happens is future. If you are bonded to future and if you deny the present, probably you create a lot of karma. The present is denied or the present is not experienced consciously because the future haunts us. Not only students, even we as grown-up people, many times we are bothered about what's going to happen in future. What is the security in my life? Okay, if children all get through and go and settle in far-off countries, who will take care of me? How am I going to live? What is the security? How do I settle in my life afterwards? See, every phase of life, we become anxious, we become too much stressed. See, do what you are supposed to do. Yes, whatever kind of security you want, you try to develop, but don't bother, because everything in the world does not happen according to your whims and fancies. Why you want to bother? I don't say you don't create a security in your life. You create it. But why do you bother? Why do you worry? Just keep doing what you are supposed to do. There's no point in becoming anxious. Why are you so anxious to know what happens? You are taking yourself to future. Many times we are worried about the results of what we are doing. This is wrong. Learn to do things with no sense of attachment to results. You have only right to work, but no right to the results, says Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, Sankhya Yoga, wonderfully says, you have only right to act, but you don't have any right on the results. Results, I am the one who decides. Lord Krishna says, the law decides, the rule decides, Karma Siddhanta decides. Please do the work for only the sake of work. No other motives and no other agendas. Thou has the right to work, but not to the fruits thereof. That's why in Kagga D.V. Gundappa wonderfully says, Mavu sasiyanu nettu be unalu siddhaniru. Mavu sasiyanu nettu be unalu siddhaniru. ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಸಲ ಹಾಗಾಗತ್ತೆ. ನಾನ್ ನೆಟ್ಟಿರೋದು ಮಾವೇ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಆದ್ರೆ ಹುಟ್ಟಿರೋದು ಬೇವ ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಭೂ ವಿಷಯ ಸ್ಪರ್ಶದಿಂದ ರಸಮಾಗುವುದುಂಟು. ಈ ಭೂಮಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ವಸ್ತುಗಳು, ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ರಸಗಳು ಹೇಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಸಂಸರ್ಗ ಹೊಂದುತ್ತೋ ಅದು ಕರ್ಮಫಲ. ಭೂ ವಿಷಯ ಸ್ಪರ್ಶದಿಂದ ರಸ ಮಾರ್ಪಡುವುದುಂಟು. ಆ ವಿಷಯ ನಿನಗೇಕೆ, ತೋಟದೊಡೆಯನಿಗಿರಲಿ. ಆ ವಿಷಯ ನಿನಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ? ನೀನ್ ಹಾಕಿದ ಮಾವೇ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ ಬೇವೇ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅದನ್ನ ತೀರ್ಮಾನ ಮಾಡೋನು ಯಾರು? ಆ ವಿಷಯ ನಿನಗೇಕೆ, ತೋಟದೊಡೆಯನಿಗಿರಲಿ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಕಗ್ಗಗಳು, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಐ ಓಪನರ್ಸ್. You should accept whatever comes out of your deed. Somebody asked Jiddu Krishnamurti, you know JK, he's fondly called JK, a great philosopher of 20th century. Somebody asked him, sir, what is your secret? JK said, do you want to know my secret? Smilingly he said, do you want to know my secret? Look, I don't mind what happens. Look, I don't mind what happens. I mind only what I need to do. I do not mind what comes out of it. What a beautiful way of living. That's why Lord Krishna says in Sankhya Yoga, 47th verse it is, Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhuhi ma te sangostva karmani. If we practice this attitude, mind undergoes training and mind becomes calm. As mind becomes calm, and as you withdraw the mind from the results, I or ego in us starts getting subdued. I gets dissolved. So the benefits of following karmanye vadikaraste is you develop calmness, freedom, and peace. But please don't look for it. This is something which I need to do, so let me do. Let me not bother about the benefits also. Yes, I know there are some benefits. Whether I get those benefits, whether I reap those benefits or not is immaterial. But I am supposed to do the karma in this way. This is the prescribed way. This is the time-tested way. Just go ahead doing it. The second approach is to have faith in God. Bhagavad Gita says nothing moves without the will of God. Tena vina trunamapi na chalati. Without your will, not even a blade of grass moves. Spiritual aspirants should be very careful and understand we are all travelers. Hence, we need to travel light. Let us always carry the sense that we are in a travel, and travelers should not hoard. Hoarding is for people who are permanently settling in a place. We are in such a plane where settlement is impossible. But unfortunately, we want to settle in a place where settlement is impossible. We have to get rid of this attitude. Since we think we are going to settle here, we start accumulating, we start getting desires, we start nourishing desires. So when we understand that we are travelers, we need to travel light, and we start renouncing, and as we start getting into Nivrutti Marga, the path of renouncement, our higher consciousness will start expressing itself. And as higher consciousness starts expressing in every deed, every act, every work that I do, the work becomes kindful and self-effacing. My selfishness is slowly dissolving. My outer self is becoming miniature and miniature, whereas my true self is expressing more and more and more. And my attitude completely changes. And any achievements, any accomplishments that come in my way, I consider that it's a grace of God. It is Ishvaranugraha. I have total faith in God. And when I consider everything that comes in my way as Ishvaranugraha, karma doesn't bond me or bind me, whatever you call. I start enjoying freedom, because whatever comes, that is Ishvaranugraha, good or bad. I am nobody to decide it. I understand it. I am aware of it. I am experiencing it. I am living it. I am living it. That is the second. And the third approach is through knowledge, Jnana Yoga. As you understand your true nature, and as you understand that your true nature is silent, whereas your outer self is engaged in all the mischiefs of this world, and as your consciousness moves from the outer self to inner self, the very nature of the inner self is to be a witness. You really understand that multiple roles that are played by you in this world is nothing but a display of your outer self. And the inner self is simply a witness. Being in the state of witness, and when you perform any act, karma does not ensnare you, karma does not bind you or bond you. You are out of karma because you know very well whatever is being done is by my false self or outer self, and I have delineated myself from my outer self, and I am experiencing the true self. When you start experiencing the true self, a day will come when the false self will merge with the true self. And you understand that you are no more fragmentary. Your spirit is God, and God cannot be partial. God cannot be incomplete. Bhagavanta apurnanalla, Bhagavanta Purna. Bhagavanta Purna andmele, how can I say I am a speck of God? ಆ ಭಗವಂತನೇ ನನ್ನಲ್ಲಿರುವಾಗ how can I consider that I am fragmentary? I am a speck of God. How can I say I am a part of God? God cannot be part. God is total. And as you experience that Advaita, the peak of monism, and then you perform the job that is assigned to you, the job will not ensnare you, will not enmesh you, will not captivate you. A job done in that sense of witness is a liberating job. It's going to remove you from the karmas, all prarabdha karmas, and you are not inviting the agami karma. With this, I'm completing my presentation. And please remember, you are doing karma on physical plane, emotional plane, mental plane, and mental, lower mental and higher mental. The act that you do in the physical plane, if it generates a result of score 1, the act that you do in the astral plane will generate the score of 5. That means to say, ಕರ್ಮ ಫಲ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಭಾವನಾತ್ಮಕವಾಗಿ ಕರ್ಮ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ. Physically, when you do, the value is 1. Astrally, emotionally, when you hurt others, then it is 5. Thought-wise, if you hurt, it is 25. And at higher mental, if you do, it is 125. That means to say, ಮಾನಸಿಕವಾಗಿ ಮಾಡುವಂತಹ ಕರ್ಮಗಳಿಗೆ ಬಹಳ ಪ್ರಭಾವ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಒಳ್ಳೇದೇ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೆಟ್ಟದೇ ಮಾಡಿ 125 ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಪ್ಲೇನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ನಮ್ಮ ಆಲೋಚನೆಗಳು, ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾವನೆಗಳು ಹೇಗಿರಬೇಕು? How should we train our emotions and thoughts is a big question I am leaving in front of you. And if you learn how to handle thoughts and emotions based on the karma philosophy, probably you will be free of karmas, maybe in future lives sometime. Let us start working on it. And thank you very much for patient listening.